Hi guys, quick bonus video today regarding one of the most frequently asked questions I receive, which is questions regarding my mods. Now, I've just had a very busy week. I was out late last night working. I got in today, made a video, put that up on the channel, and then decided I'd finally get around to updating World of Tanks to 9.10 for the first time. So I haven't played World of Tanks in 2 weeks. I've only spent 1 day playing World of Tanks over the last 2 weeks. Haven't even updated 9.10 yet, but I've just updated 9.10 and I was just about to install my mods and I figured I'd show you guys basically what I do. So heading into Google, I just do a search for Solos mod pack. There you go, Solos mod pack. First link up here. So Solos mod pack, I'll put the link in the description below anyway, but you can just Google it. That's the mod pack I've been using for the last couple of patches. I used to use Pro Mod. I think Pro Mod is still pretty good, but there's some things in Solos mod pack I prefer. But there we go, there's Solos mod pack. And what you do is you download the latest version. As you can see, it's 9.10.2 is up here, so you just click on download. Now I've just downloaded that, but you download it and it's going to go into your usual download folder. Now I'm doing this, I haven't installed any mods, I'm just doing this live. I said I'd record it while I'm doing it. So there's the download and we are just going to run it. It's very simple, no tweaking, no nothing, but this is where you get to see how I set the mod up. Now you'll notice I'm just going to do a clean install here, and what we get, let's get rid of that. What we get is this. Now this is the way I configure Solos mod pack. So for XVM under configs, we've got vehicle markers, and I just go for Solos simple OTM. You know, there are lots of different versions. There's images here to the right you can see for different ones if you prefer different ones. So you've got Solos OTM, ally names, PNG markers, Demons OTM, Jimbo's OTM. The one I like most is Solos Simple, so that's the one I use. Under colors, I use the old XVM's color scheme because that's what I'm used to, that's what I like seeing. I know what I'm getting when I use the old XVM scheme, but you can use, there are lots and lots of other different schemes up here that you can possibly use. Just find one that you like. As I say, I use the old XVM color scheme. Under damage log, I use Solos hit log. Now these are all still selected from the last time I installed the mod pack, so it does keep a record of what you've used in the past. So the one I'm using is Solos hit log, but there are other hit logs you can use that you might prefer. It's up to you. What I like about this mod is it shows you what you're installing and how it's going to look over on the right hand side. So Solos hit log is the one I use. Under hit log locations, I like using it at the top of the screen, but you can move it down anywhere you want on the screen. So I use it at the top, but again, choice is up to you. Loading screen tab, I've just got Jimbo's screen, so that's very simple. Basically it's just different colors, whether the size, the fonts. I just use the Jimbo screen login. I think it's very simple, but lots of different choices here. Under the player panel, again, lots of different choices, lots of very colorful choices here. I just keep it as simple as possible. I use Jimbo's panels here. Really what this does is it removes the clan names. So if you look here, you can see clan names on someone else's. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Clan names are gone. You can see clan names here. When you move down here, the clan names are gone, and that means that just as a little bit neater, it's a little bit tidier. So that's why I use Jimbo's panels, no other reason. Under the minimap, we've got Solos minimap. That's just the basic minimap I use. Again, if you prefer different fonts, different colors, different schemes, you could choose other ones here. I switch off centered zoom control. I really hate when I press control and the minimap comes up into the middle of the screen. Really hate that, so that's disabled. So it's just Solos minimap here. Carousel, I go for Jimbo's carousel because again, it's very, very clean. You can go for lots more information. You can go for your win rates. You can go for the number of battles fought in a tank. Lots of other news and things you can get on the carousel icons here. I prefer Jimbo's carousel. As I say, just nice and clean. And I go for 2 rows. Again, 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows on the carousel in the garage. It's up to you. Clan icons, I completely leave blank. Sixth Sense, I just use the bigger lamp. Sixth Sense icon, bigger lamp. Lots of different ones you can use here. I just use the lamp again because it's nice and clean and simple. And then Sixth Sense sound, again, I keep it very simple with the Sixth Sense warning sound. But there are other sounds here if you want to use them. For example,
we've been spotted by the enemy.
We've been spotted by the enemy, or... Yeah, considering I play quite actively and my Sixth Sense is constantly going on and off, you know, a lot of these sounds would drive me absolutely nuts. So... Yeah, can you imagine that going off every 4 or 5 seconds? So I just stick with the simple warning. But you don't even have to have a sound. You can switch off the Sixth Sense sound, but just use the lamp and the simple warning, and that's pretty much it. Ah, that's horrible.
It's a trap!
Yeah, it's a trap. Okay, lots of ones you could choose here. Info panel. What you got here is... I just leave it blank, but it gives you information. When you point at an enemy tank, it gives you information about that tank. So I like, as I say, keeping things simple. But if you, for example, point at an M60, it's going to pop up on screen that the M60 has a reload time of 7.6 seconds. It shows the M60's view range, the turret armor, the hull armor, the type of shells, the shell damage. So basically, yeah, it's going to give you a lot of information. When you point at an enemy tank, it gives you a lot of information. I don't like using this. I think it's very, very messy, but it's completely up to you. Crosshair, ever since I started playing World of Tanks, the very first mod I installed was Jimbo's. It's just the Crosshair I've been using since day one, so Jimbo's Crosshair mod, that's pretty much it. Lots of other crosshairs here you could use. There are some nice ones. I mean, I quite like that one, and some of them are too futuristic. Yeah, it's very simple as well. But yeah, Jimbo's, that's the one for me. I've always been using that one. It's the one I'm used to. Damage panel. This is where basically it shows what shots you've actually taken. So you've got a bunch of different damage panels here. And again, it's going to show bottom left-hand corner. It's going to show the hit log. It's going to show the damage panel. So again, I just go for the basic one, the damage panel by Gambit EOR. That's the one I prefer using. I prefer seeing the whole tank. I prefer seeing all the modules. But you could go for something a little bit more minimalistic if you want to. Up to you. Tank icons, I go for hard icons. Again, because it's very, very simple. Some of these are very, very pretty. You know, 3D icons for the enemy tanks on your list. You've got Pogs, Contour. You've got lots of different versions of the icons for enemy tanks. Personally, I just like hard icons. It's very, very simple. Gives me the name of the tank. Gives me the tier. That's pretty much it. That's all I want when I'm looking at the icons, top left and top right. Then additions, Pro Mod Collection. I think that's what that stands for, PMod Collection. Commander Camera, Zoom Out Mode. I've got that enabled. Just gives me additional zoom if I'm zooming out to see over buildings. No intro, to switch off the intro when you're loading into the game. Zoom X I've got selected, and I've got the simple one here. You can go for a more advanced zoom. Lots of stages to the zoom here, but again, I like keeping it simple. 2, 4, 8, 12, 16. Keeping it as close to the base game as possible. No scroll I've got disabled. I actually don't know what that does, but I've got it disabled anyway. No zoom save I've got selected because I hate zooming in, then leaving my sniper view, and then going back into sniper view and finding that I was all zoomed in all the way again. So I've got no zoom save. I always return to the same position when I'm using the sniper mode. Improved dead start distance I've got enabled, but I actually don't know what that does. I've got it enabled anyway. The zoom indicator I've got disabled. No binocs, no scope shadow I've got enabled. No dynamic camera recoil when you're in sniper mode I've got got that enabled. In-game's results informer. I like seeing if I've died and I've started a new game. I like seeing the results of the previous game in-game, so that's enabled. Session stats and color messages I always go for. Okay. Basically, I usually go for locust stands. I much prefer locust stands, but obviously that hasn't been updated for 9.10 yet. So I guess I'm going to have to choose another one. Pro mod simple, pro mods, solo extra, don't like that. I guess we're just going to go for Yasin Krasin. Again, I think that's the closest one to locust stands. I'll probably remove this and put locust stands back on once it's enabled for 9.10, but it's disabled at the moment. No fog, increased view range. I've got that disabled. I've got my fog effects turned off. White dead tanks. Ignore white damage tracks, ignore tanking calculator. If you're doing a mission and you want to know how much damage you've been taking so that you can calculate how much damage your armor is deflected, you can select that. You know what, I might as well just select that. I've never used it. Spotting calculator is what I have used. Spotting calculator just lets me know it hasn't been working. This mod hasn't actually been working the last few patches. Even though it's enabled in-game in the mod pack, it hasn't been working properly. It does show me what tanks I've spotted by putting a light bulb, a small blue light bulb over tanks I'm spotting. But what it used to do was tell me how much spotting damage I was doing to the target. That hasn't been working, as I say, for the last few patches, but I still like knowing what tanks I'm spotting. So spotting calculator, that's the next one I've got selected. And as I say, tanking calculator, first time I'm going to be using this, so we'll see what that's like. Damage indicator, I've got accurate. People have been asking me what damage indicator I use. I use the accurate damage indicator. You've got a couple of them here. You've got another one here, but accurate damage indicator is the one I'm using. Gives me an idea of where enemy tanks are shooting me from. I've got the RT mod battle assistance that is installed automatically. Got it automatically checked. Auto aim, crew XP, vehicle XP. It's all up to you. You could decide whether or not to use them or whether not. Damage stickers letting you know what shots were yours, where you actually hit the enemy tank. That's again up to you as to whether or not you use them. Visible rail wagons. If you're one of these people that constantly run into rail wagons because they blend into the background, you can enable visible rail wagons here. Lots of different options here. Some of them have been disabled, but lots of different options. I don't use very many of them. Team hit point bar is shows, there we go, shows how many hit points your team have compared to how many hit points the enemy team have. I know some players that use this. I don't bother, but again, up to you as to whether or not you want to use it. And that's pretty much it. I don't actually use anything else in the mod pack, so I don't use any of the gun traverse indicators, hit skins, tools, sound mods, vehicle sounds. Don't use any of that stuff. So that's basically how I set up the mod. So once you've got all the options selected, you can see what I select. Most of them were selected from my previous install. We just click next. And there we go. So we go on, and now it's giving us additional tasks to tweak. So what do I want to tweak? Well, do I want to get rid of exhaust smoke? I can put a check in here to get rid of exhaust smoke to improve FPS. Wreckage smoke, again, I've got a decent PC, so I don't need to turn off any of these. But if you're playing on an older PC, you want to improve your FPS, then what you might want to do is you might want to turn some of these things off. You know, things like tank destruction effects can slow down your frame rate quite a lot. So basically, by turning these off or sticking check marks in here, you can disable them and increase your FPS. The only ones I've got selected are tree motion effects. The trees wave back and forth slightly, so I've got that turned off. I don't think I need it. And then the clouds actually move, so again, I've got that disabled, just because it makes no difference to me. I think it looks pretty enough. Shadow under the tank you can also disable and can save yourself some FPS, but again, none of this affects me all that much, so They're just the extra tweaks I use. Tree motion effect and clouds. I leave everything else turned on, but if you've got a less powerful PC, you might want to switch those off as well. So we're going to go next, and we install. And that's just how simple it is, guys. I don't create my own mod packs anymore. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. It's just too complicated, too messy, and basically there's no point when, you know, people like Solo or ProMod put, you know, these mod packs out, and they just make things so easy. So again, even here, click finish, launch World of Tanks. So just before we do that, I need to launch XVM just to make sure I am set in here. No, I'm not. Okay, EU. So one quick edit while I put in my information. So we've just prolonged it. We're up to 3 days now, or up to 13 days, I should say. So XVM is enabled, so I don't need to activate it from here. Launch World of Tanks. We're going to finish. So I've just moving in, gonna play. Haven't played any games in 9.10 yet. Just installed my mods for the first time. It's loading into the game. You're not seeing anything yet because it's loading in. And there we go. We are in, and we are in 9.10. Chain of specials, earning your stripes, earn weekend. Oh, the WZ-111. Yeah, I've got that tank already, so I'm not too worried about doing that mission. So yeah, there we go. I've just bought the brand new. What is it? I don't even know what this tank is called. What's this tank called? It's the Chiro, the Igo Chiro. It's the Apple Igo, that's what it is. So I've just bought a brand new Tier 2. I'm going to be going up the Japanese heavy tank, starting off with Tier 2. But that's my mods, guys. That's basically what I've done. That's what I did in 9.8. That's what I've done in 9.9. That's what I've done in 9.10. I'm currently using Solo's mod pack. They're the options I choose, and that's how to get it working. As you can see, I've got my 2 carousel mods down here. Let's go to all nations so that you can get a better look. So I've got my 2 carousel mods. It's nice, it's clean, it's simple, and yep, that's pretty much it, guys. So if you've got any questions about mods, then there is a whole forum topic devoted to Solo's mod pack. If you're having problems with it, I suggest maybe contacting or putting it on the forum, as opposed to asking me, because I really don't know much about that mod pack. I just click on the options and I click install. But that's it. You guys have been asking. That's my mod pack. Well, that's the mod pack I use. At least I'm going to be using for 9.10. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.